Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing a Tokyo Ghoul Ray manga discussion. Now, I want to be discussing theories, different plot points, different things that most likely is going to happen. This is going to be like kind of a prediction type video. Now, before I continue on, I want to let you know right now, all you Chibits that are anime-only watchers, or Chibits that are still reading the manga, or Chibits that have not caught up to the current chapter, I recommend you not continue on with this video. I'm just going to say right now, I don't recommend you continue this video if you do not want to be spoiled if you're not currently caught up. I will give any of you that have a possibility of being spoiled 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so let's begin this discussion video on Tokyo Ghoul Ray. I went back to some earlier chapters of Tokyo Ghoul just to look at a couple things. I saw a couple Chibits yesterday, when I made my Tokyo Ghoul review on the manga. I saw a bunch of Chibits telling me that there was a lot of similarities to the Nishiki and Kaneki fight that we saw yesterday. Like, the entire bit where Kaneki is getting stabbed multiple times. That entire way he looked when Kaneki looked like very derpish looking when he was getting stabbed by Nishiki. That scene was a reference, I think, to actually Chapter 7 of Tokyo Ghoul, where you saw Nishiki say, like, I'm gonna die, when he was screaming that. That is exactly what happens, if I'm correct. I think that exactly is what happens in Chapter 7. It might not exactly be Chapter 7 of Tokyo Ghoul, the original manga, but that exact scene we saw in the manga yesterday was a reference to the first fight between Nishiki and Kaneki, but it was opposite circumstances. So that right there was really badass. I like how Ishida actually kind of foreshadowed these events, or he's using a lot of similarities between the beginning chapters of his series. Like, if you think about it, let's look at the similarities of the beginning of Tokyo Ghoul Ray and the beginning of Tokyo Ghoul. The first antagonist really introduced in the series in the first fight, the major fight, is Serpent. And what was really the first fight in the series for Tokyo Ghoul's original manga? Nishiki. So it's really cool getting to see the similarities that Ishida is actually doing. For instance, Ishida is kind of foreshadowing the events from, like, the first part of Tokyo Ghoul is foreshadowing the events of this manga. It might be because he wants to bring up nostalgia and use these events just to get everybody hyped up, but there's something else going on here. Maybe he's using these events from the earlier parts of the manga as a way to tell us that, yes, he's introducing characters back. So maybe the time that, Shu, one of my favorite characters, gets introduced in Tokyo Ghoul Ray, he might come back the exact same chapter he was introduced in the original Tokyo Ghoul. Think about this. Let's think about this closely. I mean, it's a possibility if we look at this as the big picture, because Ishida's clearly, like, hinting at different things from the earlier parts of Tokyo Ghoul, and he's, like, putting them in the exact same order. So, let's just dive in deeper. There's a couple of theories I've seen Chibits pop up about Serpent constantly. I mean, I remember there's a bunch of, like, theories about Banjo possibly being Serpent, Nishiki, which has proven to be the true theory that has been proven with this latest chapter, that is Serpent. And then I had my theory with Toka, which I got bitch slapped so fucking hard, I failed, okay? Let's just look past that. That never happened. I never failed that fucking bad with my prediction, okay? I'm sorry. Everybody makes mistakes. But anyways, Nishiki. I've saw a lot of people theorizing about Nishiki, being Serpent. I've seen a lot of people, I've showed you guys pictures multiple weeks back about the similarities between the current mask of Serpent and the mask from the anime and the earlier chapters, like the little quick glimpse we got of Serpent's mask, or Nishiki's mask in the past, and it seemed to all point towards Nishiki being Serpent, which, like I said, was already confirmed with this chapter, and with the Kagane 2 also being shown, it was just very obvious. Well, there's also another attachment to this theory. I tried to talk about it in my last review, but I was a little bit hyped, and so I'm using this video to kind of cover some theories I do want to talk about, which I neglected to talk about in my last video. Okay, so apparently some Chibits don't believe my theory about maybe Kimi, Nishiki's girlfriend, his lover, is dead by torso. Some Chibits don't believe me. So, it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed that she's dead, but I have an interesting theory. I went back. This is where the main point of this video comes into play. I went back to the earlier parts of Tokyo Ghoul, and I looked at Kimi. I saw Kimi. And I saw her picture, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I looked at her picture, and then I went to Chapter 3 of Tokyo Ghoul Ray right at the end, and I see a girl's head on, like, a dinner plate, pretty much. Just a head. Now, I'm going to have the pictures on the screen for you all can look at it. You can look at the pictures for yourself to actually see if you think my theory is correct. Look at these two pictures. look at the regular head, the disembodied head. That's from Tokyo Ghoul Ray, one of the latest pictures. And the other picture is Kimi, Nishiki's girlfriend. Tell me that the similarities of the facial structure and the hairstyle is not the same. Like, that looks exactly the same. And what's even crazier, let me point something out. Look at the picture with the hair back on one side, on the left side of the head. You will see the hair back on Kimi. And if you look closely, if you look really closely, you'll see a little bit of an earring right here on Kimi's ear. And if you look at the picture with the disembodied head, the hairstyle's the same, but the hair is like around the ear, and it's covering up that one spot where the earring would possibly be if we got to see that ear, if the hair wasn't there. So is Ishida telling us that that girl we saw, that disembodied head, is Kimi? And this would explain the overall reasons of why Serpent would want to hunt down Torso. I mean, it's already obvious technically why Nishiki would want to hunt down Torso, because his long-lost lover, pretty much his lover, Kimi, has a scar on her shoulder because he bit her. But we do know that Torso was hunting down people with surgical-type scars, but he was still hunting people for scars. And who fits this description more than anyone? Kimi. Kimi has a scar on her, and of course that would be on Torso's appetite menu list to eat. And so maybe it's because Nishiki wants to hunt down Torso because he's in fear that he might eat Kimi, or he's already ate Kimi. So yeah. I just blew your fucking mind, didn't I? I just blew your fucking mind. With those pictures and all that, it just seems to point towards Kimi possibly being fucked up. And it might explain the development of Nishiki. Why has he gotten so ripped and buffed up in these 3 years? Why has he gotten so fucking beastly? It's probably because of his depression and suffering of being weak and not being able to fight ghouls. He finally decided to train and become a better ghoul. I'm willing to bet it. I'm willing to bet that's what caused his overall change in character personality, or not his personality, but his actual characterization and his development as a character. Now, the thing is, now that I've discussed that, let's talk about some different things. Now, this is going to get into other different aspects of the latest chapter. For instance, the entire ordeal around Kaneki. As I theorized and talked about in my Chapter 6 review, not Chapter 7, the latest one, but my Chapter 6 review, I said it could not have been the Kakuho that was making Sasaki see Kaneki inside his head. There was no way the organ from the ghoul transplanted inside of Kaneki could have given those traits that Kaneki always showed with cracking his fingers and, you know, actually seeing his inner thoughts. The only reason why Kaneki could actually see that was because he was mentally insane from the torture that Jason did to him. And there should have been no fucking reason Sasaki should have saw Kaneki in his head. So, my theory proved to be true. That it seems like Sasaki is another personality that has come out of Kaneki Kin. Which is very scary. Let me explain why this is very scary. Because we clearly get to see what Ishida's doing. He clearly wanted us to show us that Sasaki is like a different person, or a different personality in the latest chapter. Because one minute you have regular Sasaki that's just going in to fight with, you know, his Kagane. Next moment, after he gets stabbed, his entire atmosphere around him, his mood changes. And he looks like he's going into ghoul, white-haired Kaneki mode. And then we know there's another ghoul in Kaneki's mind. Not just the ghoul Kaneki, but the centipede ghoul. Because there's different levels to Kaneki's insanity. He's got the regular human side Kaneki that's very weak. He's got his white-haired ghoul Kaneki that's very rough and evil, pretty much. But, I mean, he's still technically good to some extent. And then you got the centipede Kaneki that fought Arima at the end of Tokyo Ghoul that was just straight-out fucking insane and couldn't recognize anything. He couldn't even have proper sentences because he was breaking down with his insanity. So, there is already 3 different personalities of Kaneki, technically. And with this reveal of Sasaki, it makes me think that Kaneki has a 4th personality. A 4th personality. Or if you want to say that Sasaki's actually his human side, it's the representation of the original human side of Kaneki, I guess you could say that. You could say that maybe Sasaki is the human side of Kaneki, but it doesn't matter. It's still 3 personalities, so Sasaki clearly is a different persona for Kaneki. And with this theory revealed, it just shows you how crazy Kaneki is. He's still fucking insane, And seeing how Ishida's developing his character around this, it just blows my mind. I love Ishida so much. The way he dabs into insanity and the psychological themes and traits of characters, that is something I really love about Tokyo Ghoul and why I love this series so much. And to see how he has done something like this once again, especially with how we can tell that Kaneki is being brainwashed by CCG, it's obvious that he does not technically remember what has happened. It's like he's living a different life. It's like he doesn't remember he was once Kaneki. But he does and doesn't. He has slight memories. But still, to find this information out, it was really cool and intriguing to see Kaneki having another personality, and my theory proved to be true. Another split personality has awoken. So, the big question is, what is going to happen now? What is going to happen next? Because, I mean, we got to go and figure this question right now. Now that we know it's Kaneki that has technically been saved, he is alive after the end of Tokyo Ghoul, why did Arima save Kaneki? Was it because Kaneki was the only person to really ever put a scratch on Arima and damage him a little bit? Was that the reason? Or was it because of Hide? Hide talking with Arima. Talking with him and telling him that Kaneki is misunderstood. Maybe Hide, the reason why he hasn't shown up, is that he sacrificed himself to probably tell Arima not to kill Kaneki. We don't even know if Hide's technically dead or alive yet. We really don't know if he's dead or alive, but he might be alive or he might be dead. We don't know. Maybe that dude that was talking to Kaneki, I think a couple chapters back, that I said looked a lot like Hide, and he's in my thumbnail. I remember my thumbnail I colored. It's the blonde-haired guy. That looks exactly like Hide if you look at that closely. So, it's possible that other dude is actually Hide. So, yeah. So, that is pretty much this end of this video discussion, pretty much. I've discussed the theories I wanted to talk about, and I didn't cover in my last review. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have any theories to add on to what I mentioned about the personality traits that, you know, splitting off of Kaneki? How do you feel about my Nishiki theory? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.